Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome to another episode of Jash Reads. Tonight, we're starting Chapter 3 of Mockingjay by Susan Collins. Buttercup's eyes reflect the faint glow of the safety light over the door as he lies in the crook of Prim's arm, back on the job, protecting her from the night. She's snuggled close to my mother. Asleep, they look just as they did the morning of the reaping that landed me in my first games. I have a bet to myself because I'm recuperating and because no one can sleep with me anyway. What with the nightmares and the thrashing around. After tossing and turning for hours, I finally accept that it will be a wakeful night. Under Buttercup's watchful eye, I tiptoe across the cold, tiled floor to the dresser. The middle drawer contains my government-issued clothes. Everyone wears the same gray pants and shirt, the shirt tucked in at the waist. Underneath the clothes, I keep the few items I had on me when I was lifted from the arena. My Mockingjay pin, Pia's token, the gold locket with photos of my mother and Prim and Gale inside, a silver parachute that holds a spile for tapping trees, and the pearl Peeta gave me a few hours before I blew out the force field. District 13 confiscated my tube of skin ointment for use in the hospital, and my bow and arrows because only guards have clearance to carry weapons. They're in safekeeping in the armory. I feel around for the parachute and slide my fingers inside until they close around the pearl. I sit back on my bed cross-legged and find myself rubbing the smooth, iridescent surface of the pearl back and forth against my lips. For some reason, it's soothing, a cool kiss from the giver himself. Katniss? Prim whispers. She's awake, peering at me through the darkness. What's wrong? Nothing. Just a bad dream. Go back to sleep. It's automatic. Shutting Prim and my mother out of things to shield them. Careful not to rouse my mother, Prim eases herself from the bed, scoops up Buttercup, and sits beside me. She touches the hand that has curled around the pearl. You're cold. Taking a spare blanket from the foot of the bed, she wraps around all three of us, enveloping me in her warmth and Buttercup's furry heat as well. You could tell me. You know, I'm good at keeping secrets. Even from Mother. She's really gone then. The little girl with the back of her shirt sticking out like a ducktail. The one who needed help reaching the dishes, and who begged to see the frosted cakes in the bakery window. Time and tragedy have forced her to grow too quickly. At least for my taste. It's a young woman who stitches bleeding wounds and knows our mother can hear only so much. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to agree to be the Mockingjay. I tell her. Because you want to, or because you feel forced into it? She asks. I laugh a little. Both, I guess. No, I want to. I have to if it will help the rebels defeat Snow. I squeeze the pearl more tightly in my fist. It's just Peeta. I'm afraid if we do win, the rebels will execute him as a traitor. Prim thinks this over. Katniss, I don't think you understand how important you are to the cause. Important people usually get what they want. If you want to keep Peeta safe from the rebels, you can. I guess I'm important. They went to a lot of trouble to rescue me. They took me to 12. You mean I demand that they give Peeta immunity? And they'd have to agree to it? I think you could demand almost anything and they'd have to agree to it. Prim wrinkles her brow. Only, how do you know they'll keep their word? I remember all the lies Haymitch told Peeta and me to get us to do what he wanted. Was to keep the rebels from reneging on the deal. A verbal promise behind closed doors. Even a statement written on paper. These could easily evaporate after the war. Their existence or validity denied. Any witnesses in command will be worthless, and in fact, they'd probably be the ones writing out Peeta's death warrant. I'll need a much larger pool of witnesses. I'll need everyone I can get. It will have to be public, I say. Buttercup gives a flick of his tail that I take as agreement. I'll make coin announce it in front of the entire population of 13. Prim smiles. Oh, that's good. It's not guaranteed, but it will be much harder for them to back out of their promise. I feel the kind of relief that follows an actual solution. I shall wake you up more often, little duck. I wish you would, says Prim. She gives me a kiss. Try and sleep now. All right. And I do. That's the end of this part, and hang on as I just, okay, make sure. Okay, there I got it where I'm going to start and end the next part. So, yeah, as I've said multiple times throughout this dramatic reading, I'll only be commenting on the chapter once I finish it. And if you have liked this dramatic reading, if it has sparked some interest in you to read the book, and you also want to help me, there's a link in the description where you can buy Mockingjay by Susan Collins and read it yourself. And you can read it because you can't wait for me to get to the next part, or you want to read the original work. Now, even though I am reading words off a page, it's still an adaptation. I'm still inflecting. I'm still reading things a certain way. And it's my interpretation of the original work. So, you should read the original and form your own thoughts and think, oh, Jash should have done this way or that way. So, and so my little birdie Silene over there, she's been sick since, January, like the 1st of January, around there. And we've thought it's been a few things, like first she wasn't really able to poop, and now she's lost her balance. And it turns out that it's terminal, so we're just going to try to make her as comfy as possible. She could, stay in her cage mage's cage, but it's really big, and how she falls and stumbles around walking, it's not good. If you're wondering, she can still fly, so that's awesome. So, so here's the shot part of each video. So if you drink alcohol, grab your favorite alcohol or the nearest alcohol that's closest to you. Beer, wine, whatever. I'm having sake. And if you don't drink for whatever reason, I have actually hot chocolate by my desk here, so maybe drink some hot chocolate, some milk, water. Take a shot of that. So, and here's to Silene, and she's a little fighter, so she might go on for a little bit. So, cheers. Yeah. And a little sneak peek into some of the bloopers for this chapter. It took me way too fucking long to say Susan Collins right. So, amusement. And until next video, goodbye.